All right, I'm going to tell you something that sounds insane. You can literally do less with your money and end up richer than 90% of investors out there if you just know how to play the game of money. Yeah, I know. Sounds like one of those TikToks where a guy in sunglasses tells you to go buy crypto and let the algorithm do the work. But trust me, this isn't that. This is the lazy investor strategy, the one that actually beats most pros, hedge funds, and even your friend Chad, who won't stop talking about how he almost bought Tesla at $10. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up a system so simple you could forget about it for years and still retire rich. And no, you don't need to be a genius. You don't need insider info. You just need a plan that works while you sleep. Because at the end of the day, the laziest investors often make the most money. Here's why most people lose at investing. Here's the cold truth. Most people don't lose money in the market because it's unfair. They lose because they can't control themselves. We buy high when everyone's excited and just follows a crowd, and we sell low when everyone's panicking. It's like the world's worst amusement park, except the roller coaster costs you thousands or even millions. Think about it. The S&P 500 over the past 30 years has returned around 9 to 10% per year on average. That's incredible. But the average investor only earns 3 to 4%. Why? Because they keep trying to outsmart the market. It's like trying to outsmart gravity. It's not happening. I knew a guy in college who used to day trade between classes. He'd skip lectures, brag about his stock alerts, and say things like, "Bro, I'm going to retire by 27. 2 months later, I seen him working at Chipotle. The problem isn't that investing doesn't work. It's that people don't work the strategy. Lazy investors, they automate everything, they ignore the noise, and they quietly let the market do the heavy lifting. You'll never see them on Reddit threads screaming about short squeezes because they're too busy earning compound returns. They just don't have the time and they can't be bothered. So here's what the lazy investor strategy actually is. So what is this magical strategy, you ask? Well, it's simple. You invest automatically in low-cost index funds consistently for decades. That's it. No stock pricing, no market timing, no buying the dip nonsense, just consistent investing in broad market funds like VOO, which is the S&P 500, VTI, which is the total U.S. market, VXUS, which is international, and BND, which are bonds. These funds own hundreds, sometimes thousands of companies. When the market goes up, you go up. When it goes down, you buy more shares cheaper. Don't change your strategy. Lazy investors don't chase, they chill. It's like owning a tiny piece of every successful business in America without ever having to run a meeting, hire employees, or file paperwork. And the best part? You don't have to check it every day. You set it, you forget it, and you let time handle the rest. Even Warren Buffett himself said it. Literally, the GOAT said he wants 90% of his wealth in a simple S&P 500 index fund. If that's good enough for Buffett, maybe it's good enough for us, because he has a lot more money than I do. Let's get tactical. Here's how to actually build your lazy investor system in 4 easy steps. Step 1, you're going to pick your platform. Use a reputable broker like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. If you like apps, M1 Finance or Wealthfront are perfect for automation. Imagine you're building a self-driving car just for your money. You want it to be reliable, not flashy. Step 2, choose your fund. You only need a few. VTI owns the entire U.S. market. VXUS owns international markets. BND owns bonds for stability. Boom, you're done. That's diversification without thinking too hard. Now, step 3, automate your contributions. This is where you're going to set it and forget it. Whether it's $100, $500, or $1,000 a month, consistency beats amount. You can even match it to your paycheck. If you get paid bi-weekly, set an automatic transfer for the same day. Here's a pro tip for you. Treat your investments like a bill you have to pay, except instead of paying rent, you're paying your future self. Now, the final step. This one is the hardest one of all. Leave it alone. Doing nothing is the hardest part for people because they always have a reason to pull their money out. But trust me, don't. Remember, investing is like cooking a turkey. If you keep opening the oven every 5 minutes to check if it's done, you're just letting out the heat. Leave it alone and let compounding do its thing. You don't want to let the heat out of your money. This is where you're really going to start cooking. All right, let's give you an extreme example here. If you invested $500 a month from age 25 to 65, earning 10% annually, you'd end up with about $3.1 million. You didn't have to pick a single stock. You didn't need insider info. All you had to do was have patience. That's the lazy investor edge. But here's why doing less makes you more. Here's the crazy part. The less you do, the better you perform. There was a study by Fidelity that found the best performing investment accounts belonged to people who were dead. Yeah, dead. They forgot about their accounts, and guess what? Their money grew faster than people who kept tinkering. It's hilarious and sad at the same time. That's how emotional we are as investors. We can't resist checking the market 10 times a day, reading headlines, and thinking we can beat the system. But the system rewards the ones who sit still and do nothing. Doing less means you're giving your investments time to breathe, and compounding doesn't like interruptions. Lazy investing is basically emotional judo. You use the market's long-term strength against your own impatience. The power of compounding. So let's talk about your new best friend, compounding. It's not just a math trick, it's the most powerful force in wealth building. Let's use the tried and true example. If you invest $500 a month starting at 25, by 35, you've invested $60,000 total, but your account worth around $95,000. So that means compounding gave you an extra $35,000. By 45, you've put in $120,000, but it's worth $318,000. Now you do the math on that one. By 55, it's over $835,000, and by 65, over $3.1 million. That's something I like to call the snowball effect. It's small, consistent moves that build massive momentum. It's like rolling a snowball down a hill. At first it's tiny, but give it time and some distance and it turns into an avalanche of money. And the best part, you didn't have to be a genius. You just had to keep showing up. Remember this, it's always hard to beat someone who keeps showing up. Consistency beats the market. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't always a lazy investor. When I started, I thought I was the next Wall Street prodigy. I was buying crypto, chasing hype stocks, and staying up till 2 a.m. reading market predictions. I once bought a tech stock at $90, bragged about it, and sold it at $45. Classic, right? Then I'd scroll through Twitter and see people saying, just buy the dip, bro. Yeah, I kept dipping lower, all right. Eventually, I realized the people actually winning weren't the loud ones. They were the quiet ones, the ones who automated, forgot, and let compounding handle the rest. So I switched my strategy. I built my lazy portfolio, automated it, and stopped checking it. And over the years, it just worked. It's boring, but it works. And honestly, I'll take boring millionaire over stressed bulk trader any day. Wouldn't you? Let's talk about how to stay consistent when it gets boring. I know, lazy investing is boring, and that's the point. It's like watching paint dry, but the paint is worth millions later. You're not going to get dopamine hits every day. You won't feel busy, but that's exactly why it works. If you get bored, set aside 5 to 10% of your portfolio for fun money. Want to buy Tesla? Go for it. Curious about crypto? Take a small bet. Just keep your core 90% untouched, because the real wealth comes from not needing excitement to stay consistent. Boring gets rich, and excited gets broke. Here's the most important thing you need to remember. Wealth loves simplicity. Here's the biggest truth. Wealth doesn't reward complexity. It rewards discipline. Lazy investors win because they follow a simple rule. Automate and chill. No panic selling, no chasing, no guessing. Just quiet, consistent compound growth. And one day, you'll wake up, open your portfolio, and realize your money worked harder than you ever did. So here's the bottom line. Being a lazy investor isn't about being careless. It's about being strategic. You're building a machine that works while you sleep. Let everyone else chase trends, read Reddit threads, and argue on Twitter. You're going to be busy quietly getting rich. So if you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more no-hype money talk, and drop a comment. What's your lazy investing goal? Remember, wealth doesn't come from working hard. It comes from letting time and discipline do the work for you. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.